Hello, 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 Puppet. Today is not going to be that great. It's not going to be that educational. Um, it will likely be like for somebody that doesn't know anything, they'll probably be confused. For somebody that knows a lot, they'll probably be like, this is basic. Like maybe that algo can make some money, maybe, but it doesn't seem to be very complex. Like that's basically how you're gonna feel about this. So I'm not expecting anyone to be blown away by anything that I show here today, and I'm not even gonna get very far with it. I'm just gonna start like basically a Word document or an Excel, and I'm just gonna try to think about every single step that I gotta do until my first algo trading thing will be finished, and then when my first algo thing is finished, then all my good ideas and crazy ideas and whatnot, I can personally easy. Like if I get people to help me build this first one, so if me and this other guy from my class can build this first one, no problem, then me building my more complex stuff, like maybe I'll need some help of perfecting some indicators and whatnot that I want to create. But outside of that, like setting up, like changing the formulas and the math and the symbols and whatnot to just represent something different than what I already have the first one doing, won't be very difficult at all. So I'm feeling pretty good about all this. Oh, what have I become? Mm-hmm. Look at this, guys. That works. But it looks like they're changing their rules to where a lot of the stuff that didn't used to be. What up, Judge Judy Gavel? What brings you back? Okay. Okay. That one. Connect. API keys to data provider. Step 3. After I connect to the API and I can request which symbols I want, and after I've made sure that my coding has all the necessary tools to finish the project, then I can start with the actual coding process. And so we will ping the API and say, give me the stock symbol for list of stock symbols. And search one at a time with option chains only. A market cap, price action per time range. I think that's good enough. Okay. Step 4. Okay, hold on. So step 4. Analyze the SPY stock symbol. Step 5. Create a list of all expiration days. Step 6. Create a step 6. Choose expiration day that is soonest to expire but does not the same day. So basically it's got to have at least one more open for us to trade it. So if it expires tomorrow, I could trade it today. But if it expires today, I can't touch it if we've already opened. Like, I gotta get my trade in before it opens. Okay, step 7. Create a list for calls. Actually, screw that noise. Step 7, create a list of calls, inputs, starting from at the money and working your way out of the money. I need no in the money option data for this. Step 8. Alright, for step 8, I create the list of calls and puts. Now I can look. Step 8 will be analyze SPY and components, movements to gauge likely volatility for tomorrow. Trade the calls and or puts that match the strike, the expected change in percent up and or down, Step 9. Through trial and error, measure the appropriate percent per dollar value on calls versus percent of dollar value on puts. Puts should require more dollar value to have a more stable function unless you are assuming it is much more likely the stock will be bullish rather than bearish. Step 10. At market open, up until say 10 a.m. Eastern time. At market open, which is 9:30 Eastern time, up until 10 a.m. Eastern time, are waiting to hit our strike to cash out for a profit. Regardless of what the percent of profit is, as we yet to have a good blueprint to define our options' true profit potential. Step 11, force close all contracts by 10 a.m. Eastern time. Play with ideas of cashing out calls or puts that hit before the 30 minutes and see how often the opposite side gets its money back within a 30-minute to 1 hour time range. Okay, so now I close out everything for a profit. Now step 12 should be repeat. Step 13 would be to find more indicators to add to the metrics. Measure more than just the SPY. Create lists of mathematical proofs that suggest which stocks will have the most up or down volatility up or down volatility for the next 24 hours. Next trading day, we'll say. And maybe there are some indicators that we can find that other people have already created, which suggest certain things like this that we can add on until we find ways to make better indicators than the ones that people have already created. But if people have already created indicators for a lot of things that I'm going to be looking for, I'll be happy to use indicators as long as I can understand the math and it checks out as something that's at least like a basic version of what I'm looking for. Then all day, every day, will I start with that and then only improve after I'm already getting results. All right, we'll take a small little break right there. See what you people got to say real quick. Judge Judy Gavel 3, even after I ban them over and over again, they say the great content keeps bringing them back. Nox2K says I'm flagged for day trading. You can still cash trade. So basically the way that means if you're flagged for day trading on options is that you have to have the cash settled as cash when the market closes, and then the next day you'll be able to trade whatever cash you had settled the day before. So it doesn't mean you can't trade, it just means you're limited on what you can trade. Nox2K, it's not that you can't trade for 90 days, it's just that you're limited to cash trades only. I like Hardee's and Carl's Jr. I mean, fast food in general is crap for sure, but if you're gonna eat it, like, I like fast food. It tastes fine. I like Baconators and all types of stuff. I haven't eaten at Whataburger for a decade. Honestly, I don't even know what's on their menu. In-N-Out's pretty great. It's the only place that I get a lettuce wrapped hamburger. Luke Malcolm. My roofing door-to-door knocking starts on Wednesday. I've already started the roofing portion of it. Like, I've built some contracts already. I've started the business portion of it already. Me and my girl are going to finish that portion tomorrow. And I should be knocking on doors by Wednesday. So Nox2K, the difference between a cash account and a margin account and what they took away from you was basically on a margin account, you could take out your money and put it back in as fast and as much as you wanted, as long as you're above that $25,000 number. But when you fall below that number, the only amount of cash they're going to let you trade on the next business day is whatever cash you had settled the day before. So if you sell an option tomorrow and you want to get it back in, you're not going to be able to. So if you've used, so for example, if you got no cash buying power, if I got $24,000 but it's all invested and then I cash it out tomorrow morning to go buy an option, it's probably not going to let me. Like, maybe if you sell stock, I think maybe you can, but if you sell an option to go buy an option, absolutely not. So as far as the licensing process of just a regular business, you just go to the corporation, the state corporation, right? But as far as the licensing of a roofing company in Arizona, in order to apply for a license, you got to have 4 years of manager's experience plus actual install experience and whatnot. And so I had all that, and I was the license name holder because I had the experience, but I had somebody else I had one of my employees take the test type thing, and so I actually never got my own license. And I don't really care about that. And so my dad's a licensed general contractor for residential and commercial, and my younger brother still owns the roofing company of the license that I used to be on. And so basically, I'm just gonna pay one of them like $500 a job when I'm making $5,000 a job. So I'm not that worried about it. And you guys are trying to get me hungry or something. I got a dinner over here that I haven't even really started on. I've only eaten 2 wings and some french fries. But my girl made me some homemade hot wings and some french fries, which is very nice of her. My favorite places are Red Robin, Houston's, Maestro's. But these are, I mean, Red Robin's not expensive, but Houston's a little expensive. Maestro's crazy expensive. Like, I go to Maestro's and I get $300 steak. I go to Maestro's, my girl buys freaking $500 bottle of wine. We've only been there 2 or 3 times in our life. Panda Express is easy winner. Chick-fil-A is easy winner. Honestly, I like the quarter pounder at McDonald's, but I hate McDonald's. McDonald's fucks my stomach up bad. You guys see the after hours on AMC? It didn't look too bad. Like, it didn't look like they were trying to bull trap us either, right? If they were trying to bull trap us, they would have sent it up back to 15% positive on the day like they did that one time when they bull trapped me. They would have done that again, huh? But they didn't bull trap this time. It was just nice, constant, $14 almost. All right, I'm gonna go back to my algo stuff because there's more I want to do with this. All right. Okay. All right, algo indicators. SPY components. Indicators. 1. Measure end of day percent change versus a weight of companies versus next day's results. What does that mean, people? If the bigger weights of the bigger companies are the ones pushing the S&P 500 movement during a market day, then we're gonna look at the day after, and it's either gonna say more movement the day after than had it been a bunch of small companies while the big companies were just trading sideways, and a bunch of the small companies, 400 companies, were pushing it while the top 100 were basically trading sideways. Like, basically, there's variances of levels of how the market can move between the components that make up the indexes. And my assumption is that I can find patterns within the components that are moving of what the SPY is likely going to do on days. And I don't even need to be 50% accurate. If I was only 25% accurate, the way that my options profit, like, I would still be making money. So, oh man. We'll teach you, people. All right. Versus next day results. Repeat with overall net movement up and down. What do they call it? Like, you call it the sum, but not the sum because you want all the numbers to be a positive number. So you change the negatives to positives and you add them all up together. I can't think of what it's called right now. Repeat overall up and down. Okay. Repeat steps by 1 second and build up the 1 day. Teach the 1 seconds up to the 1 days different expectations to define when perfect storms. Example, Many day traders use 5-minute, use 1 and 5-minute chart or minute averages to work together to achieve a more successful result. Identify which patterns of components create enough pressure for price action swinging, and what type of patterns are reached to assume a net positive or negative coming swing. I will say expected swing. What else about the components? The weight is super important. We already kind of talked about the weight, but I haven't really gone into detail about it. Ooh, okay. So I like that one as an indicator. We'll start with that for now. But I want to start on another. This one's interesting, people. This one's interesting. So I'm going to call this one Interesting Algo. So there's one trade I did that was truly my worst trade I've ever done in my life. And I'm a total fucking idiot for doing it. And my brother was watching me and it was his money. And this was like 2 years ago when I lost 500 grand. But I lost 100 grand in one trade. And I traded it with I'm not exaggerating, 3 minutes to expiration. Okay. And I traded right at the money. Or the strike right below the money. And so basically I need the SPY to move like 1 full point in my direction in the last. Because like if it hits in the after hours before expiration, right? Like I still get all that money. So like I got all the way until 5:30 Eastern time to exercise the option. But at the end of the day, wherever they like at some time in the day, they're going to close out my option for whatever profit it had. And so I kind of fucked up the trade when I did it. But coming back to it now, I see how I could perfect the trade, and I'm totally going to perfect the trade. And when you perfect the trade, it seems to be fucking bulletproof. Like, you risk a very small amount of money on multiple stocks, but the ones that win should win a fortune. So I'm going to write that one next. I'm going to write the details to that one next. Judge Judy Gavel 3 says, has anybody had the Blazing Challenge at Buffalo Wild Wings? I think I have. I definitely had the Suicide Wings at Native New Yorker. Timber Therm Innovation says, pop up your screen with your blueprint again. I could rewind, but it's so much better live. I'm still going to be going over it a lot, people. I'm not done. Like, I'm just getting started here. I'm going to be going over lots of different algos, lots of different blueprints. I just want to get something on the base done so that if my guy is down to work tomorrow, we might be able to knock a lot of it out tomorrow. Otherwise, we'll probably get started on Thursday or Friday. I agree. AMC's looking stronger than ever right now. I've never seen AMC look this strong, this bullish. Knowing that, like, the only reason we've had some price decay is because freaking stupid Wanda and stupid Ron keep selling fucking shares at pennies for a dollar. Pennies on the dollar. Brother's life. I'm just building an algo that we're going to start testing soon enough. After I build an algo and it's just got all the basics and it can actually implement its trade, I'm going to paper trade it and see how it does every single day. Nice. Sounds like you guys in it to win it. Hell yeah, we do. We got way too many losses right now. We need to start tallying some wins on the other side right now. We definitely need to start tallying some wins on the right side very, very soon. Alrighty. Here we go. We are going to go back to the algo. Somebody who said they wanted to see the blueprint. Here's the blueprint, basically. So when you're building a code, the first thing you need to do is have a data provider. Find a data provider. I still got to find that. That's actually like my only job right now. Step 2, connect your API keys. So basically you're connecting your computer and the keys and access system that the data provider gave you. And you're uploading, you're typing that out into your programming code. And then it connects you to their software or their website. And then that's where you can ask the website to send you certain information. But before you start bringing in information from the website, when you start coding, you got to import a lot of functions. And so a lot of math functions, a lot of graphing functions, all these things. Like for Python, people have created a lot of these different little functions and inside these little functions, like there's 10,000 libraries of mathematical formulas that can express numbers in some way. And so basically, you import these functions, and then through those functions, you have access to those 10,000 formulas that people have already created and just offer to the world for free. And so, yes, so make sure you import that. After that, then step 3, you start pulling the data of what you care about. And so you pick a stock symbol that you care about, and then you can either say search one at a time by that stock symbol, or search stock symbols with option chains only, or search ones without option change, search by market cap size, search by price action per time range. So how much, like only things that move 5% or more in the last 24 hours. Like there's so many different ways that you could try to pull data. Step 4, analyze the SPY stock symbol. So basically this is the one I'm going to focus on for my first algo. And then step 5, create a list of all the expiration days. Step 6, choose the expiration day that is soonest to expire, but does not expire the same day we're trading. So I never want to, like for this algo, I'm trading the soonest to expire option because I want as much action on my money as possible on the next market open. But I am also not willing to trade an option for the strategy that doesn't have a market open tomorrow because it expires today. So this formula will have a little code in it that makes sure it gets rid of all the expiration days that expire on the same day as the day we're looking at it. Step 7, create a list of calls and puts from the create a list of the calls or puts from the expiration day you have found that is closest to expiration. Then we only need out of the money option data for what I'm doing right now. Get out of here, fool. Broski. Broski. Come here. Come here. My doggy. He's such a beggar. He's only in here because I got food in here. Otherwise, he'd be with his mama right now. You're such a beggar. All right. Alrighty. Step 8, analyze SPY and components movements to gauge likely volatility for tomorrow. So what that means is if it moved 2% today, every time it's moved 2%, I look at the next day and it says the average of the next day movement is going to be Y. But obviously there's ways I can perfect this indicator, but for a basic version, that's what you would be thinking about. What did it move today? And then based off days that it moved this much, what did it move the next day? And that's how much we're going to assume that it's going to move, right? And so then I'll go to that strike. So I'll look at what's the at the money strike. Then I'll change that percentage to whatever the percentage I expect it to move tomorrow. And then maybe I'll just go one strike closer to the money just to be conservative. But basically, whatever strike I think it's going to go to, that's the one I want to bet on. Let's see. Through trial and error, I will have to measure what the correct proportion is on calls versus puts based off how much time to expiration, based off each individual stock symbol, based off implied volatility, based off the VIX. All the different metrics are going to matter for that portion. Just because puts don't make as much as calls, and so sometimes the right ratio might be 60-40, sometimes the right ratio might be 70-30, and it's always going to be more on the put side than the call side, just because calls make more than puts with the same amount of movement. Step 10 says, at the market open, 9:30 a.m. until 10 a.m. Eastern Time, we are waiting to hit our strike to cash out for a profit, regardless of what the percent of the profit is, as we have yet to have a good blueprint to define our option's true profit potential. Meaning, if I buy a $300 strike and it's at $298, I'm looking to cash out whatever profit is at $300. I don't give a fuck how much the profit is, because nobody actually knows how to gauge what that profit's going to be accurately. Like, I could do it more accurately than anyone, but until I have a machine that already auto-calculates it, like, we ain't even going to think about that. And so the only thing that we want to think about is the only thing that we want to think about is closing out once our strike price is reached. Then we create a forced close all contracts by 10 a.m. Eastern Time, basically meaning, so I got to set this in real quick. Okay, step through measure. Okay, at mark. Okay, so right here, I never put in buy. Okay, so step 8, step 10 would be buy options on calls and puts at 3:45 p.m. Eastern Time. So basically, we're buying our options 15 minutes before the market closed. So like after that 15 minutes passes, we've lost very, very little theta. Then, and this could be 3:50 p.m., 3:55 p.m. Like, just the sooner you do it, you're just basically ensuring you're going to get filled. Because if I wait till 3:55 p.m., it's not a guarantee I'll get filled. And obviously, it's never a guarantee, but like, I've never had a problem getting filled, so I'm not going to worry about that until I have a problem. All right. Then, so step 11 is making sure we close, or step 12 is going to be making sure we close everything by 10 a.m. Eastern Time, regardless if our strikes hit or not. Then I want to run a little test and see how often a strike does hit on the one side. If I close it out for a profit and leave the other side still open, how often does that other side recover some of its losses or all of its losses? Like if I wait an hour or 2 hours after market open for the losing side of the position. Because maybe it doesn't make sense to close my losing side for a 75% loss and try to hold on to that 25, where half the time that 25% goes back up to 100% or more. Like, so that's something that I'll have to look into. It looks like I got an extra step here for some reason. I don't know. But anyway, step 14 is find more indicators to add to the metrics. So basically, after I build this base platform that can do like the most simple version of my strategy, now everything I do after this, I can just add to it and see if it makes it better. If it doesn't make it better, I can take it away. If I add 2 things, I can see when they align and they work together and try to give me a special indicator that no one else has because they're not using these 2 indicators together. So if I have 5 indicators, like there's literally probably 100 different ways you can cross-analyze all the different indicators and find which way, like what the secret recipes are that tell you where the indexes are going to move. Because remember, the index is based off all the companies that make the index. If you add up all the companies' movement times their weight and then look at the change in percent of the SPY, it's the exact same every single day. The SPY does not have its own stock price. No matter how much you buy of the stock of the SPY, that affects the stock price of the 500 components based off how much weight they have in each company. So the SPY, you don't even need the SPY to know the stock price. You could take the 500 components and measure the stock price on your own. And if you did it that way and you traded based off that logic and you massage that type of data, you'd be a way better trader than anyone that lives on this earth today. Because there's no one that's doing it that way today. Frank Castle, I 100% believe that Wanda and Aaron diluted their or sold their shares and diluted the 43 million shares just to hurt the dates that I bet on. I 100% believe that they took an effort to beat the God pill, thinking that if they could make me go broke and they could make me lose hope, that then they would only have to fight the dumb apes and that wouldn't be so hard. Like, they didn't want to fight the God pill. They don't mind fighting the dumb apes, but when you got to fight the God pill, it's a whole nother conversation. And they don't like it. And I also don't think that the options are moving the stock prices at all. I don't know. I don't think none of that matters. I think AMC's going up this week and you guys are going to get paid. And we just need to be patient. Frank Castle, they probably are still watching, but the stuff that I'm going over right now is irrelevant. I won't even be using the stuff that I'm going over right now, likely until after the market crashes and recovers someday. But yeah, this is more about, like, this is just proving that nobody's on my level, really. My option algos are going to be so much better than everybody else's shit. It's not even going to be close. All right, so this is, we're going to call this one Wild Gamble Expiration Day option trading. Repeat base platform of Algo Project 1. So that would just be copy and paste everything from that algo that I can reuse. Step 2. After I've copied everything, hold on guys, I'll be right back. Step 2 is going to be wherever the copy and paste ends off, right? So if I go look here, I definitely want to copy and paste step 1. I definitely want to copy and paste step 2. I definitely want to copy and paste step 3, whatever I decide. Like, so it'll be like the option chains only version. And then step 4 changes from analyze the SPY stock symbol to analyze all stock symbols with option chain. So we'll start with step 4 on step 2. Interesting algo. Find all symbols with option chains. Step 3. Only use this algo on expiration days. Indexes have more expiration days and 2 to 3 a week, while blue chip stocks tend to have weekly or monthly expirations. Step 4. Collect all stock symbols with expirations same day. Step 5. Measure the open price action all the way until the last 5 to 10 minutes before market close. Then, based off the price action, bet on if the math suggests the price is gonna go up in after hours or down. Also try betting both on heaviest movers of the day. Ultimately, what we are trying to accomplish in finding this, the best movers on their expiration days, is because the last hour to 30 minutes to after hours could have wild swings. If we can get in at the money for the SPY, let's say the SPY is at $400 and we could buy the 10-minute till expiration option. It's actually a couple hours, but you count it as 10 minutes because you can no longer trade it, but it closes in the after hours, but we'll pretend that it's 10 minutes. Let's say that the SPY is 400 and we could buy the 10-minute to expire option at the $400 strike for an ask price of, let's just say, 20 cents. Boom. That would mean, if this was a call, it was $20. And if SPY closes before 5:30 p.m. Eastern, above the 400 plus the 20-cent cost, you get left with a break even of a close at 420, while you make a 4x profit or a net 5x sum on your money if SPY closes at 401. Meaning, if it goes up to 401 or down to 399 and we're able to buy a call or put at the money at $20 on both sides, either way it goes, as long as it moves $1, we gonna get paid. And if it goes like before 5:30 above that number, you can exercise and take your profits and then cash out your stock if you wanted to. Like, there's a lot of ways to play this, people. A lot of ways to play this, people. Is that okay? So measure the open price action all the way. So basically, as the day is playing, we got a list of all the options that expire the same day. We are measuring the price action to see which options are the cheapest. Okay, so step 6. Use step 5 data plus option pricing at the money to determine which symbols have the most likely chance of success on both sides of calls inputs, or just one or the other side expectations, depending how good our indicators are. Because our indicators may say we just know it's going up or down. We don't know if it's going up or down. Or it may say like we got a 70% chance it's going up, and that may be enough that we want to bet that it's going up. So it really don't matter. Like, you just got to find what you feel comfortable with, really. Alrighty. Step 7. Set options to exercise into stock before 5:30 p.m. 30 p.m. if price is reached, and make sure your account has access to after-hour trading. You can sell those exercised profits, exercised stocks for the profit you earned before the next market open. Otherwise, it stays there, it closes there, and then E-Trade just automatically closes your position and sends you the profit if you don't decide to exercise. But if you don't exercise when you could have exercised and then close the stock, you could run into a situation where it went up and you could have exercised, but it falls back down by the time they would close out your position. And so you never actually realized the profits, even though you saw them and you had a chance to collect them. So you basically need your computer making sure it's collecting at the first possible chance. Step 8. Repeat for options with... step 8 will be find the indicators that measure a high enough percent chance of success, and then measure the best number of stocks to play at the same time. For example, the top 10% of movers and option pricing results may do worse than choosing and investing in only the top 5% of movers versus option pricing. Step 9. Repeat. I think we're done. All right, that was another algo right there, ready for people to utilize. Another algo. Frank Castle, I've lost so much money. Like, you need to go back and watch my shit or just leave. This shit ain't for new people. Like, just go watch my old shit or just leave. Because your questions are so basic that it's embarrassing. Like, it's honestly insulting. I don't need everybody to watch me. I just need people that are willing to take the time. Just Cheese says the spy's about to be fucked. I got some puts at the $100 strike, so I sure hope so. I sure hope so, Just Cheese. Got to go. See you guys in the morning. It should be an exciting day. Let's go AMC. Later, later, Count Crypto. All right. What else? Like, I got some more algos, and I actually got algos that I want to trade. Like, those aren't the two algos I actually want to trade. Well, I guess the first blueprint one is kind of the algo that I want to trade. So this algo project one is kind of the algo I want to trade, but I haven't really gone into, like, I feel like the indicators are the most valuable portion of this. And I feel like the only thing I'm going to hold back from you people for now is the indicators. So I'm going to build the whole thing, the most basic version, and I'm just going to share that on my GitHub or something. So if anybody just wanted to pull my basic ones and try to improve them, they could. But I think I'm going to hide my algos, and maybe I'll create a platform that like has my indicators, and my indicators are sending out these lists to people that pay for a platform or something. I don't know. We'll see how shit plays out, people. I'm just doing everything all at the same time. As soon as I get my money, like the stock market don't really matter to me no more. Like I'm in the stock market until I'm rich, and then once I'm rich, I'm changing the world with real shit. Like I'm only here because the numbers is the easiest way to beat the game. That's the only reason I came here in the first place, was because I liked the numbers and I thought I could beat people at the number game, and now I'm certain I can. Let's see if there's another algo I'm willing to share with you people. Oh yeah, let's do the credit spread algo. So not this credit spread, not the cross margin credit spread between the SPY and the SPX, but just the credit spread portion of either just the SPY, right? So how does that look? That looks very interesting. Okay. How would I go about doing this? What do I want to value? This one's a little bit more complicated because now I got to decide, do I want to do 1 week to expires? Do I want to do a month to expires? And I got to kind of work that out in my head. So I'm going to think about that for a minute while I look at the chat. Well, I guess there's nothing happening in the chat, so I might as well not be thinking about that in the chat. I might as well just be thinking about it to myself. All right, so if I'm doing a credit spread on the SPY, first thing I need to do will be, okay, step 1, copy pasta algo project 1. Step 2, analyze SPY. Step 3, pull all expiration days. Step 4, pull all calls and puts as lists within each expiration day accordingly. Oops. 4. Step 5. Okay. Pull all ask prices and bid prices with the strikes under calls and puts. I may have to add that to my other one because I didn't talk about the ask prices and bid prices, but they do matter. Step 6. Man, the GMEers are so pathetic. They are the weakest human beings I've ever seen in my life. I do not like GME at all anymore. The people have convinced me that GME is a fucking dead cat for sure. Like I said, people, the only way I see GME squeezing is if the government's so desperate to try to get AMC to fail, they try to get you guys to paper hand your AMC for GME first squeeze. Because if GME squeezes, AMC's coming right after, and they know it. And that's the only reason they let GME squeeze. So I wouldn't even worry about GME if I were you. I wouldn't even worry about it. Because all I know is the apes that buy AMC fucking hate GME. The ones that buy AMC and aren't in both and only have AMC, they all seem to fucking hate GME. As if like, and like hate it in a sense of like, they think it's dead money. They think that already happened and the AMC is the only thing left. Like they're believers in that. Like they're, man, AMC is fucking diamond handing. I'm proud of the AMC apes. Even though they're stupid, just like the rest of them. At least they're doing their job. And they bought enough to where they own the company. Ain't no suit fucking owns the company. It's a beautiful thing. Okay, so now I pulled the ask prices and the bid prices with the strikes under the calls and the puts. After that, step 6, we're going to say measure from one strike to the next on the call side and the put side, which strikes have the largest net credit spread between each other using only a one strike differential. Compare to the net difference between the two strikes to then collect the credit potential versus the loss potential, then add up the sums of the best call and the best put. Okay. Step 6, 7. Do this on all expirations repeatedly to find out which time till expiration tends to have the best net results, as starting the trade in an option with X number of days till expiration. Step 8. Make algo repeat credit spreads after on each day where we see each day or consecutive days where we see a change in stock price up or down equal to our number chosen. That tells us to create a new credit spread. Step 9. Determine the best ways of trading more credit spreads after the original XX days till expiration spread, does it help to follow that expiration down with the new spreads, or maintain the XX days to expiration with the new spreads? Or is it a combination of both? Step 10. Determine if it's best to close portions of the credit spread when one side gets price action over another side. Without mad capital and a portfolio margin account, you would only be able to sell your sold shares first, meaning you would be holding on to your bought shares, which expire with data if you don't see your price action. So don't close sold options unless your indicator is very bullish for a price swing the other direction. Otherwise, it's probably best just to hold on to both legs all the way until expiration and just collect your credit spread. Step 11. Calculate ROI and results to prove this one strategy is infinitely better than the Warren Buffett advice of buy indexes. Okay, I think I'm done there. That's another algo in itself. If you guys aren't seeing how this is an algo, you haven't watched enough of my work. Oh. Judge Judy Gavel 3 says, I've yet to try Popeye's chicken sandwich. Am I missing out? I like Popeyes and KFC's, like, just straight up chicken, fried chicken, more than I like the chicken sandwich. I do not remember the Angry Whopper from Burger King. Nope. Alrighty, let's get back at it. Let's think of another algo real quick. So this one is my rename SPY credit spread algo, which will also be the base platform to my SPY SPX cross margin credit spread algo. If you don't know, now you know. All right. So I got those algos. Is there another algo I can give you guys that I'm not worried about? Let's see here. Is there another algo I could give? Okay. I can think of a pretty good one that I have actually paid a decent amount of money to have tested. And basically, it suggests that you should be able to make around 1% a day on your account balance, and you're only shorting options. And I mean, mathematically, it's kind of guaranteed, but at the same time, it's not. So it's hard to explain. But basically, we're going to call this the shorting only expiration days. And basically, on any symbol, on any expiration day, you can sell. So basically, okay, if you think about the logic that I used to convince you guys of like that lotto gamble of the $1.50, right? So basically, on AMC, if it gets to Friday expiration, 1 day to expire, or basically on Thursday, the day before Friday, the $29 strike is worth 1 penny a contract. The $28 strike is worth 1 penny a contract. The next day, the $27 strike becomes worth 1 penny a contract. After an hour, all the way up to the $23 strike has become worth 1 penny a contract. All the way up until at the money, until closing, where that basically becomes worthless as well. So basically what you would do here is you would measure which strikes are going to go from where to zero the fastest on expiration day. You would sell that strike first, and as it crushes to zero, just because of the theta of 1 hour, you fill that position and you collect your profit. Then you come back in and you sell the next strike that's headed to zero, and the next strike that's headed to zero. And basically, like, if you trust the Fed, if you don't think the Fed can lose, and you trust that they're always going to do what's best for them, then you just go to the option chains that have the most number of option contracts for that expiration day, and you know those are the ones the Fed wants to pay the least. So if you're selling these expiration that everyone else is going crazy on, regardless if they should be or not be, it doesn't really matter. You just know that much money on there, like the Fed would lose so much money if they let it hit, so you can basically assume it's not going to hit. Obviously, I would never do that with AMC, probably not even GME, but this can definitely work on a lot of stocks, especially the SPY and other things, SPX and other things. And so I'm a huge fan of this. You could probably even get in on it a couple days before the first day to expiration. But yeah, that's kind of how it works. And the only question is, what is the margin, the actual margin rate? At the margin rate, the guy that I hired to do it assumed was the margin rate. His math came out to saying that my model basically guaranteed a 1% ROI daily. And so if he had the margin inaccurate, because most people I talked to did, they don't understand portfolio margin accounts at all. And if he had it that way, it could end up being a couple percent. And a couple percent a day turns into 500% a year. So I'm probably not going to write that one out just because I don't love that one. And it comes with a huge amount of risk. And so if you guys want to know about that one, you can pay me on the side for it because you're probably a rich motherfucker if you're trading it. I have not seen the Hot Wing YouTube channel. Sure haven't. I didn't know there's a limit of how many sheets you could have, how many pages you could have down here on an Excel page. Interesting. I guess I'm done then because I can't add any more Excel pages. Interesting. I'll be done with my algos for now. I'll get back on the algos when I'm working with my guy in class. Yes, I will. So we'll get back to that probably tomorrow or Thursday or Friday. I'm surprised how little people are interested. Like, people will come in to listen to me talk about anything else, whether it's Jesus stuff or AMC or GME. But when I'm talking about real fucking market shit that you guys could take right now and go take over the world, it ain't nobody fucking interested. That's so weird to me. This is the shit that I've been thinking about for 2 years before the GME thing even happened. All of this shit is shit that I was trading, practicing, trying to understand, trying to master. It was the only shit I cared about, and it seems like nobody even cares about it. I'm sure the hedge funds are watching me and just thinking out their mind, like, who the fuck is this guy? Is he really that unstoppable? Like, how does he have 5 different algos better than any algo ever created by any other human ever? How does he have 5? That's exactly what they're thinking, I promise. I promise. They are scared shitless, people. And I probably got more than 5. And then once you start talking about my indicators are actually even stronger than my algos. Because everybody's been building indicators forever, and everyone says indicators suck, and this and that. And it's just because nobody knows how to put it all together. Once you put it all together, you unstoppable. You unstoppable. Best burger in AZ might be Thirsty Lion. They got a bacon jalapeno burger or something. And man, oh man, their ranch is on point. Their fries are on point. Thirsty Lion is classy and tasty. It's not very expensive. It's a little bit more pricey than Red Robin, but it feels classy and it tastes great. They do. They got raspberry martinis, raspberry drops instead of lemon drop type things, and basically like the sugars. They do the sugar on the thing, and it's just also good. I love it. I like it a lot. That's so funny. The news articles yet like today, this morning, were all inflation and fears through the roof. And yesterday, all over the weekend. And then today it says China's market rebounds to 1% up after inflation fears ease. Anyone that was afraid of inflation has not had their mind eased in 24 fucking hours. Fucking retard news shit. I hate the retard news shit. I really do. Man, this shit pisses me off. Hey, Dougie. I will, Judge Judy. I will have a great night. I always have a great night. My nights are great. I'm always pretty happy. Like, I get angry. I have my moments. But at the end of the day, I go to sleep and I don't got no cares or stresses in the whole world. Uh-oh, we got people on my post now saying that they're going to sell their GME for AMC. If GMEers thought they were mad at me before, wait till they see that shit. Wait till they see that shit. They thought they hated me before. So funny people think that I care about money. Like, what more could I possibly do to prove that I am the one that does not care about money? What more could I possibly do to prove that? Holy moly. I did exactly what the Joker would have done in this situation. Wait for the right moment and then fucking show the world how to have a set of balls. The only people that ever hate on me for the bets that I've made, and every time they call in to tell me why I shouldn't be fucking YOLOing and be an idiot and all this other shit, I say, do you know why I YOLO'd? And they say, no, tell me. And then I fucking tell them, and they just go, huh. Like, I guess it wasn't a stupid bet, and I guess you only missed it by a day, but still, bro, why'd you YOLO at all? Why didn't you just stick to the 2023s? Shut the fuck up, pussy. I'm following my math, not yours, not anybody else's. I'm following the fucking truth. And for whatever reason, I'm the only one that can see it. I don't know why. I don't care why. I'm just gonna keep fucking looking and keep fucking showing. It's what I do. It's what I've been doing for a decade. And I ain't planning to stop anytime soon. We got 42 months of another fucking, like, basically 42 months to prove that Democrats are the worst human beings ever, and that any idea of anything that resembles even close to their political ideology should be expunged from the United States permanently, as a platform at least. Like, they can have the opinion if they want the opinion, that's fine, but, like, here's the answer. Here's the real easy answer, people. The easiest answer to all the world's problem is buy people's votes. And what I mean by that is we're going to pass a law that gives people the right to sell their right to vote for, let's just say, $5,000 to $10,000 a year. And if they want their vote back, all they have to say, they don't have to pay the money back. They just have to say, I don't want it anymore. And within 12 months of the time they say that, they get a vote again. Some stupid rule like that, and this country is saved in a fucking week. This country is saved in a week because I promise you, there are a lot of people out there that want to try. There are a lot of people out there that will try if you show them how. But the problem is, I didn't have the time to show people how to do things. Like, I did not feel like I was going to save this world by mastering roofing and then taking one person at a time and showing them how to start their own roofing business. I probably could have made $1 billion doing something like that. But that wasn't my goal. Like, that wasn't my passion. It didn't get me excited. I needed it was just too much of the same shit every single day. Signing contracts, knocking on doors, talking to, like, I just don't love it. I don't love it. And I love numbers more than that. But I don't even love numbers. Like, I don't even love the stock market. I don't even want to be in the stock market. I'm only here because I knew it was my opportunity to beat the system. My very, very, very first trade in the stock market ever was an option. I never trade stocks in my life, people. Until GME, I never fucking traded stocks in my life. So February 1st, 2021, first time I traded, and before that, I've already lost $500,000 and I've traded in and out $20 million in options for fucking 2 years almost. I only did the trading in the first year, but like all of that shit fucking happened, people. And like I'm the first person ever to just say, fuck stock, let's go to options because I'm about the money. And so what happens? Here's what happens. I got $15,000 in my E-Trade account, okay? What I meant to do was to buy a call and a put And so if it went up or down enough, I should make a profit. And that's what my head was telling me. So I went to optionprofitcalculator.com. And before I made a trade, I probably spent like 2 weeks on this guy trying to understand exactly how options work and like explaining it to people and stuff like that. And then finally, when we're like, okay, let's see how this works. Because I'm living with like 5 guys in Idaho right now. Like we're all doing my roofing company when I'm like, so basically I get like, I'm in Idaho with guys doing roofing business, and I say, you know what, like, somehow I got into options, and I finally started to understand like how the life insurance options worked, and then it just made it real easy for me to understand how the rest of the options work, or at least the start of how options work, right? And so I came in here, my first bet ever, and I meant to do something like this, where it expires in 1 day or 2 days, so let's just say the May 26th. And I meant to do something like this where I said, okay, I'm going to buy the 120 or the $1.21, and then I'm going to buy a put. Yep. I'm going to buy a put of 132. And I get one contract of each, so I got 121 over here and 132 over here. And if I calculate this bad boy, look what you get. So basically, if you drop down to 416 at market open, or you go up to 424, you're going to make 50 to 70% on your money. And that's counting the losses from the other side. So this is assuming one of your bets goes to basically zero while your other bet makes the money. And if we go down here, this is assuming one of your bets basically go to zero while your other bet makes the money. So check this out. I put $15,000 in, right? I put $7,500 on one side, $7,500 on the other side, and like I'm cashing out tomorrow. If it opens up at a 0% up or down, I probably lose 25% if I cash out right away. If I'm lucky, it'll be like 10%. If it's got 2 days to expire, it'll be like 10%. If it's got 1 day to expire, it'll be like 25%. And so basically, as long as you're cashing out right at the market open, you can't lose everything, right? No matter if it goes up or down enough in a direction, you make a profit. If it opens and it doesn't go anywhere, you could cash out right away and just take the loss that you experienced. And so this is what I came into, but guess what? I fucking messed up. I didn't buy the put. I put all 15,000 on the call on accident. Like first trade ever, right? Just fucking rookie mistake. Guess what? The SPY opens up that morning before I even know I made this mistake. Like I'm still thinking I got a call and put, just waiting to see what happens at open. Market opens up 0.5%. Not a 1%, not 1.5%, 0.5%. My $15,000 grew to $120,000. I put a sell order, market order. It didn't go for like 10 seconds. And then by the time my account dropped to like 90 grand, it cashed out. And so I turned $15,000 into $90,000 by accidentally buying all $15,000 on a 420 strike, where had it dropped to 414 at open, I would have lost all $14,000. But because it went up just 0.5%, literally it was at 300 and it went to 301.50 type shit. And because it did that at open, it gained over 400 times its value, or four times its value. So 4x, over 400%. And the second I saw that, the second I saw 0.5% movement in a stock paid me 4x on my money in less than 5 minutes of trading. Like I bought it right before the market closed, and I closed it 10 minutes of the market open. 5 minutes, 2 minutes of the market open, no exaggeration. Like it went up and it started crashing down, and I put a market order as soon as I saw it go up, just because I wanted to catch a profit. And as it started crashing down, I got out with still 4x on my money, even though I got up to 6x on my money. And so it was the second I saw that, I knew that anything I did was going to be a waste of time and money in comparison to this if money was my only goal. And I've been telling people I want $1 billion or nothing. Well, if that was true, options was going to be my answer, was what was in my head. And so basically, I'm going to build these algos. I'm going to do my roofing business. I'm going to get some more money. I got this whole AMC thing going on. I got my puts on SPY and Tesla. Like, I'm spinning every single plate, and I'm actually spinning them fucking good, too, like a professional. I got 10 different plates on 10 different fingers, and they're all fucking spinning, and I look like a fucking magician. And all of a sudden, they're all going to pay me at the same fucking time. Watch. They're all going to just pay me, and I'm just going to be getting money from every fucking direction, and it's going to be stupid. It's going to be stupid. Wreck the Night likes when I'm talking about that real shiz. So let's keep going. So that's how I started. Obviously, when I closed the position, I saw that I only had a call because I was like looking for my put position after I closed out for the profit, and I saw I secured my profit. I start looking for the other position, and I'm like, oh my goodness, I never even bought it. That means I put all my money on the call. Oh fuck, I got so lucky. But like, you don't know how many people I've talked to where I try to talk to them about options, and they're like, oh no, I stay away from options. And then like we'll eventually talk to each other about our first trades. Everyone that says they're good at stocks but stays away from options went to options before they knew how to trade them, lost money really really fucking fast, and they said they're never touching it again, and they won't listen to anyone that talks about options. I happen to be a person with the exact opposite experience, made more money than I thought was humanly possible in less time than I thought was humanly possible. And from that second, I knew there was nothing that would ever hold my attention except for this. And I spent the next 2 years, literally 12 hours a day, smoking weed, sitting in my backyard, listening to music, thinking about options, going on to optionsprofitcalculator.com, coming here and doing this. Literally, when I found my SPY, SPX credit spread, so like after I discover what options work on a basic fundamental level, and I had a really good idea, I then wanted to find a perfect, easy, guaranteed money making machine. And I was like, how do I do this? So what did I do? I went to the SPY and I said, okay, let's go to June 28th. And then I came here and I said, okay, I'm going to snip this so I got a picture of it because I can't look at two different symbols at the same time. And I already had it, like basically because I had $500,000 when I started. Before I got into trading all the risky money and like before I even started losing much money, I basically was going through the process of understanding how the brokerage side works. So I hit every trading rule. I broke every rule imaginable at E-Trade. And then I would call, I would learn why. And now I got a super strong fundamental basis of if someone's got a question, I can usually answer it. There's a couple of details about the day trading stuff that I have forgotten, which I just don't care about because I knew like there's a couple things I've forgotten just because like when I found out what the portfolio margin account is, I realized that in a perfect world, I would never use anything else. And so I never really saw myself getting into the stock market until I had a portfolio margin account again. But GME and AMC kind of just fucked all that up and just made me forget about everything I was doing for a minute. And now I'm kind of getting back on track, but it's all been a good thing. It wasn't a bad thing that I got off track because I mean I built my YouTube platform, which is awesome. I mean it allows me to knock on doors and YouTube Live. Like you gotta be monetized to do that kind of shit, and now I can do that kind of shit. And so I have a platform that I can use for anything that I want. I love that shit. I may not be popular with the AMC and GMEers, and I may never be able to win them back, but I don't think I need to. Like there's plenty of people in this world that have plenty of money that aren't in AMC and GME right now. So there's all that good stuff. Then yeah, so I lose all my money eventually, but I got a good understanding of options. So I keep studying, keep studying. I learned like basically I get to a point where I'm like, okay, now I got options like nobody's ever got them, right? And I come and I discover this thing, and basically it's super awesome. I discovered this thing right before the March crash, and when the March crash happened, I saw how it took the opportunity away. But if you're already in the opportunity, it didn't crush you, it didn't kill you to already be in the opportunity and then have a market crash. And so basically, I found the infinite money cheat. I saw like a crazy market crash of 40% in a month or whatever, and I saw how it took away the opportunity. And then I watched the opportunity come right back after the market maintained, or like after the IVs and the volatility gone down. And so this is what I was working on entirely for the last 12 months. So first 12 months was learning options. The last 12 months was getting this traded in a portfolio margin account so that I could make as much money as possible, as fast as possible, and that I could raise money because it's basically guaranteed money. If you find a guaranteed money trading solution and it makes 5% a month, you can go to a billionaire and they will give you every dollar they have as long as it's guaranteed, right? And so I'm basically saying I can mathematically prove that it's guaranteed. And so if we look at this, that's the SPY. Then we go to the SPX. Damn it. I don't know if I'm going to remember what expiration date I clicked on. But, Alright, I'm going to have to go back to the SPY and clip a new one. We're going to do expiration day. Let's just say June 18th. SPX. June 18th. So basically, I knew that you could cross margin the SPY and SPX, and so I got a funny little thought in my head. And the thought in my head was this: what if I, like, because the SPY and the SPX go to the same price everywhere they go, and because if you sell out of the money options and they expire out of the money, then you only collect the credit spread, and you can't lose more than the credit spread. The prices, the two different stock symbols can't leave each other more than a certain amount, and you can measure what that amount is going to be based off what the date is going to be, based off how many days it is till the next dividend. And so the dividend is what creates the change in price between the SPY and the SPX, or at least the majority, like 90% of the difference between the price between the two. And you can mathematically prove that. I've already shown that in old videos of mine. And basically, I went to the same expiration day on SPY and SPX, and I said, what if I sell one and I buy one at the same strikes with a 10x factor? I went to 1 week to expire. It said that you lose money no matter what, because you're creating a situation where you can't lose money, but you start out with a negative $5 loss, and then you just close with a negative $5 loss. And so it's not like a bad, like, it's horrible because you only lose money and you can't make money, but like you could never lose all your money neither, right? So like it's kind of safe. It's just there's no credit to actually make a profit. So then I go to 2 weeks to expire, and now it's like, okay, there's $60 to profit while the risk is $500. And then while the max risk is potentially like $500. So if I can make $60, but the risk is $500, that means I got to win 10 times for every time I lose. And so that wasn't great. But then I kept going, and finally I go to like 30 days to expire. And guess what? I found opportunities that the credit spread was $900. The risk can't be more than $500, and I can mathematically prove it for this expiration date specifically. And the credit spread is $900. So basically what it means is if I lose the trade, I still make $400. If I win the trade, I make $900. And it's going to, because the risk is 500, maybe it's 1,000 and maybe it's 2,000, right? But who fucking cares what it is? Whatever that risk is, let's just say it's 2,000. If it's 2,000 and I'm making 900, that means for every $2,000 in my account, I can create a $900 credit spread that's guaranteed to produce at least 400, but maybe 900. Holy shit. Holy shit. And so basically I took the snipping tool and I took the SPY and I measured it to the SPX on multiple expiration days. And I just come down here and I say, okay, let's look at the 4250. And I see I could sell this for 31.10 or buy it for 31.50. While on this one at the 425, which is right here. So if I can buy the SPY strike for $292, but I can sell the SPX strike for $3,110. That means I can do 10 contracts of the SPY for $2,920 and have a credit of $3,110, giving me a net credit of $190. Well, if I do the call side and then I go get $150 on the put side, because the put side is usually a little bit smaller than the call side, that gives me a net of $340 credit. Like, I just picked a random expiration day. We can probably find a better expiration day with higher credits. But like you can, like usually you can always find, like if the opportunity is there and the market hasn't crashed recently, usually you can find 300 to 500 no problem. But the 900s and those things, like you gotta have a algo that's always looking for the best possible opportunity and trading it. And so basically, if you combine this whole idea with the simple algo that I created for the credit spread algo on just the SPY. So what does it look like? What does this trade look like if we're going to look at it on one stock symbol? It would look like something like this. So we got to go to 4 legs. We got to go to SPY. Then we got to go to select option. And we're going to do something that's like, we'll do the June 18th again. And we're going to do a call credit spread. So I'm going to sell, let's just say I'm going to sell the 430. And this is going to be right. Then I'm going to buy a call on June 18th And if I sold the 430, that means because we're doing a credit spread, we want the credit to be larger than the debit. So that means I'm gonna buy the 431. So if I buy the 431 at 112, now my credit is the difference between these, which is 21 cents. Now I'm going to come and I'm going to do the same thing with puts. And you'll have to go through and measure one strike versus the other strike to determine which credit spread's the best for you based off how much it is out of the money, but also the amount of the credit spread in comparison from the difference of one strike to the next strike. Because that's your max risk minus whatever the credit spread is. And so you have to find your own number for that. But if I do I'm going to write that $4 one at the 411. And then that means I'm going to buy the 410 at the 381. No, sorry. What did I say? I bought the... $4. There we go. I bought the 411 at $4. So I'm going to... Or I sold the 411 at $4, so I'm going to buy the 410 at 381. That makes sense. And then let's just go ahead and calculate this and see what it says. And basically, what we see right here, on this specific credit spread, I make $40 if it doesn't go over 2.6% in the next 20 trading days. Or if it doesn't go under 2% in the next trading day or 20 trading days. So basically, if it doesn't go under 412 or above 430, I will make $40. If it does either of the other ones, then what do I lose? 60. So I can either make 40 or I can lose 60, right? And so basically, my argument is that if you are coming in here and the market goes up over here, well, it's more likely that it's going to come down and come back to your number at this point. But what you can do is you can reset this whole leg 2 days later when it moves up to here. And then that way, if you put in another credit spread when it's at 440 and we go and we expire down here, your max loss is now the $60 plus the $40 you're getting over here because you're getting another $40 now. And so now your max loss on this side is going to be $20. If it stays here, you only lose 20 instead of 60. But if it comes back down, you're going to break even. No, I'm sorry. Hold on, let me think about it. So if it comes back down to here, you should actually, there's a point. Okay, I'm going to rewind because I got to explain this to you because this is a strategy I was about to be using and I haven't thought about it in a long time. And so some of it's coming back to me right now. But basically the idea was this. I wanted to create a measurement, I'd have to calculate this, but you calculate a measurement inside of here that tells you where you're creating a little nest egg where if I buy in right here at the 430 and I do another credit spread when it moves up to 430 and I've lost money on my other credit, on the credit spread I was already in, but then I buy another credit spread, basically what happens is if it comes back and it closes between 430 and 420 over here, I'm going to make $80 instead of $40. If it comes down here, I'm going to lose $80 on one side, but I still get $40 on both sides, so I break even. If it goes up here, I still break even, but then if it goes up to the next level, then I could lose, I believe it'd be $160 if it goes to full red. Well, I think it'd go $80, then $160, but below that, you make 40, below that you break even, then below that you make 80, below that you break even. And so basically, as the price moves on you, because in a normal market, normal world, the indexes did not move a lot in a month. Nobody was betting that it was going to move 5% in a month. Sometimes you do, but not most of the time. And so, in a normal world, this might pay out just fine. But if it goes up, if it goes up 5% tomorrow, do you guys going to bet it's going to go up another 5%? Or are you going to bet it's going to come down 4%? Think about that. And so that's the whole idea of if it moves up on me, I can set up another leg and set it to where that's the new baseline and it's going to expire there. I make money. If it comes back to where it was, I make even more money. And then, yeah. I don't know. I love it. That's the shit I was thinking about before GME and AMC got started. I don't know if I got anything else for you guys. Like honestly, I got really far. Like that algo stuff went a little bit easier than I thought it was going to go, and I feel like it's exactly what I need. And so with that algo stuff, I feel like I may like have my first algo done by the end of the week, and then I'm gonna upload it on the Quantopian. And if anybody wants to try it out with a little bit of money, you can open a Quantopian account, and basically, if you win money, I get 10% of your profits. And so I'm gonna create my first algos, and then I'm gonna upload them onto Quantopian, and then you guys can decide if you want to try them out or not. It'll paper trade it, so it'll be showing the results of what it does on a daily basis, and then you guys can decide if you want to throw money at it. And sometimes it'll win, sometimes it'll lose, but it should win a lot more than it loses. But that's assuming that the market just doesn't go to zero and AMC becomes a one world currency and we all become the owners of the world. Like it could play out 10 different ways, people. I don't know which way it plays out, but I'm gonna play every option. I'm gonna play every option until I know. I'm gonna play every single route I have until I know exactly what to do, until I know exactly how I win, and then I'm gonna double down on the victory, because I ain't leaving until I win. I just responded to some haters. Calm down, people. I gotta get my haters all riled up. You know how I do. Oh, that's messed up. They took down my picture that I posted. I guess you can't say the faggot word with the A. Like, they don't mind if I say it on my YouTube. They haven't blocked me for saying that word. But what they do mind is me typing it out on YouTube. Like, even if I do the at symbol instead of an A, like, they flag that word for sure, for sure. They don't let nobody say that word. Jason Braun's a bitch-ass little pussy. I'd fuck him up any day of the week with that arm tied behind my back. Knox 2K says, turn up time. Turn down for what? Bobby Kivlin says, great information. I appreciate that, Bobby. I really think it's the best information out there. Like, if you're even a half decent coder, you should be able to take what I just showed you and you should be able to make money within a week. That's a fact. I understand it's a lot of work if you don't know anything about coding and if you don't even know about options yet. Like, I'm not trying to challenge you to go and dominate this because I'll probably beat you to it. But there's a lot of people that are good enough coders that they can take what I just shared today and they could be making money before me. That's a fact. That's how easy this stuff is I'm working on. And nobody's thought about it but me. I'm sure that's because I'm not smart, though. I'm sure it's because how stupid I am. That's why I'm so ingenious. Think about that, guys. Everyone wants to make fun of me because I don't know shit about shit when it comes to college education. I couldn't tell you about complicated math formulas. I couldn't tell you about computers. I couldn't tell you about English. I couldn't tell you about history. I couldn't tell you about a lot of fucking things other than what I've learned through my own life. But man, somehow I just happen to know what were the right things for me to learn because I learned things that let me be able to look at anyone and compare mine to theirs and always show up a little bit better than them, no matter who they are. It doesn't matter if we're talking about how hard we've worked in our life, if we're talking about how much money we've made with how little we started. Like, whatever type of little category you want to create, I fucking own it. It's true. And if I don't own it yet, I'm going to own it soon. And then, the day that I'll lose the categories is the day that people start following me. Not just listening, following. Following is action. Words are only words, and I am so sick of fucking words. Like, that's why I'm going to be knocking on doors and roofing. Like, it'll still be live streamed. I'm going to fucking buy a battery pack, and I'll set up my phone on the roof, and you guys will watch me busting my ass while I'm fucking roofing, if that's what it takes. If that's what it takes, that's what I'll do. I'm actually surprised how little viewers we have today. But that's okay. We don't need viewers. Let's do a little recap on what this video has been about, people. So, the whole point of this was to write out, like, basically, I've been taking a programming class for what's been about 8 weeks now. And throughout this 8 weeks, I can't say that I've given it my full attention. But luckily for me, I mean, I've spent a good couple hundred hours watching people code and or trying to read their code and help them fix the problems because they didn't understand options well enough to just solve the big picture of, like, if I'd say something like this to them, maybe a little bit more complicated, not as clean, and they just crumble. Like, they couldn't understand the first steps. It was bad. And I'm sure that's my fault. But even after I hired a recruiting firm over in Chicago I've been working with them for probably 12 months now. No, probably 6 months now. And basically they've been I've used one of their people. I've interviewed 2 more of their people. And basically what we've come up with is that just nobody understands options well enough to entertain me. They think they found somebody. And I'm supposed to be talking to him, but I'm at the point right now where I don't know that I need him anymore. And so I'm taking a couple days to think about it before I respond to their email about interviewing the next person. But ideally, what I'd like to do, if in a perfect world, what would happen is this whole AMC, Tesla puts or whatever pays off, and I can go straight into a hedge fund, building the bank and all that good stuff. And whoever this guy is, if he's as legit as they say he is, he can come on as my CFO. And he'll have no power, no control over the company. I'll have all the control. But he will be there to be a soundboard of somebody that's college educated and that can fill in the blanks of what I'm missing. I've been looking for that person for a long fucking time. As far as I'm concerned, they don't exist. But I will keep looking if people want to interview. Okay. So, what was I saying? Crap. What was I saying, people? I forgot what I was saying. There's absolutely zero chance I will not be overthrowing the Rothschilds, or the Federal Reserve, or Joe Biden, or the fucking Queen of England. Whoever fucking owns this country is my bitch, soon to be. That's a fact. But if you don't know the deal with my bank, you probably don't deserve to know, and you probably just need to leave my channel, because I'm probably not here for you. Alright guys, so basically what we started this channel out with was going over some algos that I have developed over the last 2 years. And I've been working with different programmers. I've worked with 3 different programmers and paid hundreds of thousands of dollars, including for data, to get this done over the last 2 years. I never got a project quite finished, even though I could have finished them myself based off the little knowledge I have now. Like, I could have taken what they started and I could have finished them for sure. But I'm starting from scratch, and that's because I don't save nothing and I always delete my old work, because I figure that I can always rebuild anything that I've deleted. So I don't really care about deleting shit. Like, unless I think it's still relevant to my life, I keep it. But if it's not, then I delete it. Or I delete it when I need to start saving space. And so I save things that I think might be important, and then eventually I realized they were never important. I never need to go back, and that's why you see stuff like my desktop. My desktop is always something that I was going to use immediately after I saved it. So basically I could go through almost everything on this desktop, delete it, and I wouldn't even care. Like, there's very little. Like, maybe some of the, like, I want to keep my Postman on here. There's a coding thing. Fuck, maybe that's it. Like, there's just nothing important on here. Nothing important on there. Copacetic, coming in here and asking dumbass questions like that is an easy way to get banned. I've never shilled AMC. Anyone wants to pretend that, like, I've written the words sell AMC, but if you listen to my videos, I've actually never said to sell AMC. I said AMC is going to a minimum $30 to $40. When it does, it could squeeze through past that to 1,000. But if it gets to 40 and it doesn't squeeze, I would cash out for profits, especially if I was in options. If it hits 40 and it doesn't squeeze, it's going to turn into the next GME, which will trade sideways for 4 months. Maybe it squeezes after that, but I'm not going to fucking park my money for 4 months. That's for damn sure. I cover AMC more than anybody. I cover everything more than anybody. It's just I am no longer focusing on watching stock prices 8 hours a day with you people. I'm done with that. And so, will I make trades? Maybe. Will I do other things? Maybe. Will I tell you about new stuff that I see about AMC? Maybe. Will I answer questions about AMC? Maybe. Will I tell you why AMC is better than GME? Always? Definitely. I will always have a voice for why AMC is better than GME, and I will say that at least once on every single one of my videos. And if people care to know why and actually are interested to know why, I would explain it probably as well. Not on this video, because this one's about coding and I'm going to keep it that way. But the point is that I'm going to be focusing on my coding for, I got 5 different algos that make more money, that make at least 100 to 1,000% ROI a year, all of them individually. And so I'm going to build them. I'm going to send them on Quantopian. I'm going to start the paper trading. So we'll start collecting analytics. And then people will see that the analytics rise to the top of the charts. And then people start investing into my algos that they don't even get to know exactly what it's doing. But they still invest. And I get 10% of any profits any of them make. If they ever lose money, it's not off my back. It ain't no fucking sweat off my back. And so literally Quantopian will have a list of algos performing the best. Mine will be at the top of the list, all 5 of mine. People will choose which ones they like the fucking best. And I'll give a brief description of what the algos do. And oh God, it will be glorious. And so that's one way for me to make money. The other way I'm going to make money is I'm going to be taking my phone, and during the day I'll be knocking on doors until I get a roofing client, and one roofing client at a time. I'm going to do their roof, and I'm going to collect the fat check. I'm going to do all my taxes, make sure everything's good, and I'm going to show people how to run a roofing business all by themselves. Obviously, you could just replace the roofing with almost any trade out there, and you'll probably have a lot of success as long as you can get sales. Like for me, a business has always been, can you sell the product? And for roofing, it's something I can sell door to door. I can't do that with everything, but I can definitely do that with roofing. So roofing's an easy business for me. You got to find your business. As long as you can produce some type of lead source or generating system, you should be fine in your business. So I'm doing the algo thing. I'm doing the roofing thing. I'm still in the AMC thing. Like I'm all like AMC for life. If AMC explodes, I got puts on Tesla and SPY, so I should get paid on those. And I got like crazy puts. Like these things will pay $100 million probably if they actually hit. What else? I'm fucking Jesus, and so I've been reading the Bible, and it talks about what Jesus does or what Jesus did. And basically, I think I found out how I changed the world. And I think I found out what I'm going to do. And I think I found out how to lead by example and how to show, like, there's 2 people that are going to take up a role. Sounds like it's even greater than mine for 42 months. Like, greater than mine as far as, like, a responsibility of daily effort. Like, the Bible talks about 2 people following me in sackcloth to go preach the word of God. And basically, what their job is for 42 months is going to be knocking on doors, finding a city where they generally are decent people that don't hate to hear about Jesus or God, and then talk to people until you find somebody that's willing to bring you in the house, listen to the whole thing about the God pill experience and how you need to come to the one true church on this earth. And then I want you to feed me, I want you to house me, and then I'm going to leave your house. I'm going to go find another person to house me tomorrow. And then I want you to share this message with every family member, every person you know, and I want you to refer them to the God Pill YouTube channel. And so between my knocking on roofing, I'm going to be trying to get dinners. I'm going to be trying to sell people for 2 hours on AMC and not GME, but like explain the whole story, explain what I'm doing. This isn't just about roofing. This is about changing the whole freaking world. This is about showing people how to become independent themselves. This is about 1,000 different things at once. And I just feel like at the door, people are going to fucking love me for it. I don't need to hold the 25K. That's my issue with a lot of you guys, is that you haven't watched my videos enough to know why you're actually a smarter ape if you sell all your stocks and buy all 2023 expiration options. You will make more profits no matter what. You will, I mean, obviously not no matter what, but 99.9% chance as long as it doesn't take 2 more years. But you make more profits. You create more open interest, which actually brings in more investors. And so if we get the open interest high enough, you'll bring in every investor in the world. Yeah, and so basically, if you guys are invested in options, like if AMC, like I got my brother 11 contracts right now. If AMC hits 1,000, my brother will make $11 million. And it didn't cost him more than $400. Obviously, they expire on Friday, so that's not like a 2023 example. But what I'm getting at is that options are going to produce way more profits than stock. So if you need 25,000 because you're in stock and 25,000 stock price is your number to cash out, then what that means is in options, your number will be 5,000. And so do you want to be in a 5,000? Do you want to chase AMC to 5,000 or do you want to chase AMC to 25,000 to make the same amount of money? And so I don't know. I can't see how... Guys, face to face, person to person, I'm the nicest human being in the world. That ain't no fucking lie. As long as you don't disrespect me, I'm literally the nicest person in the world. Like, I'm so nice. The tough guys, the bullies, call me bitch and pussy to my face, thinking that I'm a bitch and a pussy because I'm too nice. And then I say, what the fuck did you just say to me? And I fucking explode on them. And they're like, what did I just get myself into? They had no fucking idea who I was. but I try to be the nicest person I can ever be all the fucking time. Oh man. Joe Gonzalez says, sell calls till we squeeze. I only like that if you know that your squeeze bucket, if the squeeze happens, that you make more than what you would lose on what you're selling at any given time. As long as you're never selling more than you're buying, I don't hate the idea of selling calls until you're ready to not be selling anymore. Joe Gonzalez, you need to go watch my 4 videos called Sell Stocks, Buy Options. Even if you don't want to sell your stocks and you just want to dabble in options, it will, like, in 10 hours, you will be, like, there's only 5 hours of videos, but you might have to watch them twice. But basically, in 10 hours, you will be more experienced in options than the average hedge fund manager. I'm not exaggerating. I'm completely legitimately serious about that. And everybody that's been trading stocks for 10 years and said they were scared of options, come into my chat and say, thank you, Godpill. I didn't start trading options till I found your channel. They'll even come in and say, thank you, Godpill. I lost a bunch of money trading options, but your information is more valuable than any dollar I've ever lost. Oh, man. All right, let's get back to the algo trading. Hell yeah, Joe Gonzalez. Hell fuck yeah. All right, so on the algo trading, basically I started 2 years ago. Let's start from the beginning, right? So I was in the beginning was 23 years old. I mastered life insurance, everything except for exactly how the product worked. So basically I knew everything about the IUL and how the money worked except for the options portion of it. And I didn't like figure that part out yet. And so basically, as I'm roofing in Idaho, I'm still obviously working on my life insurance stuff all the time, trying to make $1 billion, trying to start a life insurance company, whatever. Raise $30 million so I can start a life insurance company. And just getting no luck, getting nowhere. And I can't remember exactly what led me on to the option side of the IUL and what led me on to understanding it finally. But I did understand it, and I found optionsprofitcalculator.com, and I found the answers I was looking for on there. And after I figured out how the options work on an annual basis, when I went to the 1 day or 2 day to expire options on the SPY, like on optionsprofitcalculator.com, it wasn't hard for me to go here and start creating graphs and seeing what kind of trades I could create and what kind of opportunities existed in the stock market. And now, basically, before I make a trade, as long as I know what stock price is going to change, then I'm going to make more money than anybody. And obviously, I've been betting a lot on things that haven't hit, and so I've lost more money than anybody. And so options are crazy risky, but crazy powerful, and but they're not always crazy risky. There's ways to manage the risk. I just happen to, when the math tells me to bet the farm, I bet the farm. It don't matter. I don't got a safety net bone in my body. I think God built me that way, and I think that's why I'm better than most people, is because I'm never afraid. I'm never afraid of going back to zero. Like, a lot of people say that. A lot of people say they know what it's like to be broke and they can go back anytime. But honestly, everyone I know that broke, all they do is bitch about being broke. I'm the only broke person that makes more money and ends up more broke than anyone I've ever met, and has never complained about being broke. Ever. Like, you guys complain about me being broke more than I complain about me being broke. You guys are trying to give me money so I'm not totally broke. And it's like, I'm not fucking complaining over here. But I don't know. I just think kind of comes off as desperation, but it also is pretty respectful. So I do respect people that are trying to help me out here. But I just need you guys to understand that, I have not had a big enough impact on the AMC GME movement as far as people liking me and following me. I would argue that the proof of the $9 bounces changing to an $8.30 bounce means that I probably convinced at least 1 to 2 million shares to get sold and then buy into options. And so the time that I bet my April 23rd trampoline bounce, I think I kind of fucked myself on that one, because I bet on the $9 bounce, and the next 3 days it dropped down to $8.30, and then I was trying to rally back from that bounce, and I missed it by a fucking day. And so Had I never come on YouTube, had I just been trading by myself, I'm sure I would have made a fortune by now. But I'm here for you people. I'm not here for me. I'm not here for me. I'm here for you. And the harder or the longer we go, the harder you'll see me work, and the more you'll start to believe. The more you'll start to believe that no one can do what I do. No one can be on point with it on every aspect of what they're talking about, whether they flip from roofing to options to insurance to freaking the Bible to you name it. Like, I'm on point with it. Oh, man. Milwaukee Bucks hit 22 three-pointers. I'm not gonna lie, guys. I'm pretty stoked for the Suns. Like, I used to be a huge Phoenix Suns fan, and Steve Nash and his whole era, like, crushed me. Like, I thought for sure we were gonna get a championship, and like, I didn't really get to enjoy or embrace the '93 Suns. I think it was like with Charles Barkley and all of them. But I heard the stories. My brothers were huge fans, and so it just feels like the Suns were due so many times over and over again. And this year feels like the year of the underdog. So I feel like the Suns are going to beat the Nets in the finals. And I normally wouldn't, like, I'm kind of anti-sports right now just because of all that political crap that I feel like they're using a very serious issue to manipulate the minds of less fortunate people and turn us against each other. And it's hard for me to support that, even though me not supporting it kind of helps build the hate. Like, it's just so hard for me to support that, and I don't know if I ever can. But for love, my love definitely outgrows my hate. So, like, I felt the same way about football. But whenever Tom Brady was playing, I could swallow my hate to show my love for Tom Brady. That's how I feel about the Suns right now. I'm going to watch the Suns when they play tomorrow. I'm going to watch them the day after that. Anyone says, ew, you're watching the Suns? Don't you know? Shut the fuck up. I'm better than you. And so if I'm watching the Suns, you're allowed to watch the Suns too. And God will forgive you. Oh, man. Amari, Nash, and Marion. Jacob Richardson, too. Yeah. All of it's the Illuminati. Hollywood, NFL, NBA, all of it's Illuminati. Politics, every single part of it. But the part that I like is that one day I'm going to have enough money to buy my own NFL team, buy my own NBA team, and I'm going to go in there and I'm going to wreck the whole game. I'm going to show that these professional athletes are fucking jokes. Like, you might have got a couple special ones out there. Stephen Curry, that man is special to me. LeBron James is a bitch to me in every way, shape, and form. I would never pick LeBron James to be on my team. Ever. He would never be a pick on mine. He could never qualify to make my team just because his only skill is something he was born with. His only skill is something he was born with. That's weak. Granted, he worked hard. He got super fucking strong. I'm not saying he doesn't work out hard. He doesn't do all that shit. But he was naturally inclined to be better than everyone else, so it pushed him to get there easy, and it was easy for him the whole way through. Professional athlete at the age of 18, and then he just turns into the softest, biggest puss imaginable. Oh, man. Ramlight, it's never gone better, man. I am feeling at top of the world, and that is not an exaggeration. I feel like life has never been better, and I know my win is not far behind me. I know my win is coming right behind one of these corners, and I'm just waiting for it. Of course, Vision TV, I'm not saying he didn't study the game. I'm not saying he doesn't deserve to be good. What I'm saying is the ideas in his head, the way he plays on the court, the way that he fakes fouls, the way that he extends his non-injuries and acts like he's hurt so people will feel bad for him and think that he's better than he is. Like, everything combined with LeBron James, that guy could never make it on my basketball team. Not at his prime, not in the beginning. There's zero time where, like, if I would have picked him up in the beginning, I would have cut him the first time he cried like a bitch on the floor. The first time they had to pause the clock and burn one of my timeouts because LeBron's crying on the floor, he's fucking gone. Every time I'm bleeding on a basketball court when we're playing pickup basketball, I fucking stand up and I walk the fuck off. I'll go grab paper towels, wipe my fucking blood off, and say, you guys keep playing until I get this taken care of. Oh, man. It's all about the integrity. It's all about why you're doing something. I don't care if you're the best at something right now. If you're not doing it for the right reasons, you ain't going to be the best for long. We got it coming, Ron. Raymlight, we got it coming, brother. We got it coming. For sure. And I don't mind that people like LeBron, especially if you like him for his basketball career, because his stats are basically untouchable, right? Like, no one's ever, like, unless Godpill gets in there and does something crazy, like 100 points a game for 5 years in a row. Oh, man. Michael O'Daniel says, what up, gangster? AMC stonk. Hell yeah. AMC did not let me down. I'm not going to lie, guys. Had AMC gone down even 1% today, I probably would have been chilling AMC today too, saying they're both fucked. But the fact that AMC bounced up 13% today guarantees to me that all my math on AMC was 100% right, and the only way they beat me was by getting Wanda to fucking sell out their position. Literally, think about this, people. The people that built AMC for the last decade sold out their entire position saying we wash our hands of AMC. Imagine that, people. The people that built the company for a fucking decade washed their hand just to make the stock price stay down. Was it for me? I think so. Was it for something else? I don't know. Not just fuck Wanda, fuck the CEO also. Because on my April 23rds failed because the CEO of fucking AMC sold the 43 million shares at $9.97 a share. At $9.97 a share, people, is where the CEO of AMC sold his shares. What a bitch. Rainlight says, so what's the best play these days? The best play is to have some money in a squeeze bucket. So 2022, September, whatever you feel like is definitely enough time to hit. And probably a $40 strike. And then taking the money you want to amplify with some risk. So clearly not all of your money, but whatever money you can afford to risk. And play it on weekly to expires, but you're not holding them. These ones you're looking to profit as much as possible and as fast as possible. So basically, you're going to buy 2, 3, 4, 5 strikes out of the money, expecting it to hit at the next open, and when the market opens, you cash it out. Probably wait for a little slide back, and then if the market slides back and you think it's going to go back up to a next high, go buy it whatever strike you think it's going to go to. And start getting that call money every time it comes down and shoots back up. Because those calls are printing. Those weekly calls are make 100% ROI, maybe 50% ROI every time it drops $1 or $2 and then goes back up $1. Or every time it drops 50 cents and goes back up 50 cents, you could probably pull in, I don't know, maybe 20%, 25% maybe. And it might need to be 75 cents. But that's the kind of stuff that you got to look for. So find a strike that you like. Look at the price when you wanted to buy it. Watch the price move and see what the price is. Subtract the difference and see what the profit was. And then find the strategy that you like. But there's definitely some opportunities out there on AMC right now. The volatility is money making. I don't think anything about SOS Limited. Visions TV. I don't think you know what you're talking about. You need to go watch the Thursday video where AMC went up 30% the other day. Go watch my video on that day. I traded a $14 strike on 2022. So I could have hit in the next fucking 8 months at $14 AMC and I made 150% ROI and I cashed it out. So if you're telling me that's too risky and you can't do that on AMC, I call you bullshit. Like right now, a $16 2022 AMC strike is easy, easy money. Are you going to hit it tomorrow? I don't know. Are you going to hit it in 2 weeks? Probably. Fucking probably. I'm telling you, long theta options are way better than stock. You do more for the ape community by selling your stock and buying those options. In every single way, you should be in high theta options. In every single way, the options will pay you more when it squeezes. The squeeze will go higher if you buy options instead of stocks. More volume will come in if the open interest is higher. Like in every single way, the options is the way. It is the ultimate weapon against the machine. I was only talking about the short-term options on the portion that you can afford to risk that you want to day trade. The rest of it needs to be in your fucking squeeze bucket where you get guaranteed money someday, whether it's 1 day or 3 fucking months. That's the way to do it, peoples. Hell yeah, Timber Therm Innovation gets it. I'll probably move a little bit more than $1, so I'm probably going to jump from, right now I'm in the 1450s, so if it hits any higher than 1450, I'm probably going to jump to like 18, and if it hits 18, I'll probably jump to 23. If it hits 23, I'll probably just go straight to 29, and then I'll just wait till it hits 29. So I'm only looking for 3 or 4 jumps myself. I'm not going to try to jump every dollar, because sometimes I feel like it might jump more than $1 in a jump, and I want to get the full jump exposure. And so just an FYI, I will not be trading on every dollar. But it wouldn't hurt you to if you feel quick enough and stuff. So that's the thing, Timber Therm Innovations. We went over the day trades, and so you need $25,000 to have a day trading portfolio. But if you don't have a day trading portfolio, that doesn't mean you're limited to the number of trades. What that means is, and if you break this rule, they're gonna they'll cancel your margin account, but you'll still have a cash account. And so what that means is, if you want to day trade $2,000 on AMC, then keep $4,000 out. Day trade the two. Oh no, hold on. You're right. I'm sorry. So if you're going to be day trading it, you're only going to be able to day trade it basically. So think about it this way. If I want to day trade, let's say I got $4,000 I want to day trade. And let's say that on average, I think I'm going to do 3 or 4 trades per day. Then basically each trade I'm going to do of $1,000. So I do one trade of $1,000. It turns into $2,000. I cash it out. Now I can still day trade $3,000. Even though I made $1,000 profit, I still only have day trading power of $3,000. So now I look for my next opportunity to throw in $1,000. Boom, I make my profit, I get out. Now I got $2,000. I got 2 more trades that I can look to capitalize on. And so as long as you do this and then you have it cashed out and you have that $4,000 out in cash, ready to wire somewhere, you don't have to wire it, you just keep it out in cash, and then the market closes and the market opens and you still have that cash the whole time, you will have that much day trading power for the next day. And so the last thing I'll say to that is, if you got 4 trades, what that means is, if you're trying to buy the dip on every single time it dips, like, make sure those dips are big enough to where your 4 dips of buying the dips 4 times is the actual last dip, and it's going to bounce up and you're going to make a profit before you get to where you first bought your first buy. Like, you should be buying that last buy so late at the dip that by the time it gets back to where it was, you're in profits, you're not breaking even. I do not support GME in any way. It's my mission to try to get GME to 0. I am actually adamant against GME. And the more I talk to GMEers and the more GMEers try to convince me why GME is just as strong as AMC, the more they're convincing me GME is total fucking trash. Damn, Michael O'Daniel's got 1,000 Tesla call expirations right now. My man. You must not listen to me very much or care what I think, because I got 360 I got 360 puts on Tesla going to $22. Holy moly. Me and Michael O'Daniel are playing the exact opposite bet right now. What do you mean how, Ramlight? I don't know what you mean by how. Michael O'Daniel, I'll be honest. Because Tesla hasn't really mooned. Like, I've been expecting Tesla to have a 20% up day like it did in February, like it did in March. And because the Bitcoin so low, the NASDAQ so low, Tesla so low, I've been waiting for this huge bounce. And Tesla's the only thing not getting the bounce. And I think Tesla's market cap is so high that it costs more money to get Tesla to go up even higher than it does on any other stock. And I think the Fed is done pumping the Tesla stock and they're just trying to maintain it before the crash happens so that nobody knows that the crash is happening. Like right now, Tesla, I feel like wants the crash, but they're not letting it just because they're trying to postpone the crash. And so they're done trying to get it back up to new highs and they've given up, it feels like. And right now it feels like they're trying to postpone what the inevitable is, but I could be wrong. Bobby Kivlin says, Luca. Luca what? I don't get it. For sure, Michael O'Daniel, if you played an option to make 5%, that's great. But like had I been playing Tesla, I would have been betting on an option that was 20% out of the money. And right now, I would not be feeling great about that. I would not be feeling great about that, especially because I don't cash out my options unless they hit the strike price. So all I'm saying is if you catch a profit, man, at least cash out something. If you catch a profit, cash out something. Rainlight, I would. Timber Therm Innovation says, I just bought weeklies, and then when I'm out of the day trades, I send it to a $40 call, 2021 calls, less worries till a guy can retool and reload. Oh yeah, 2022, not 2021. That makes sense, and hell yeah, Timber. Hell yeah. So Ramlight, basically my position on GME is this. I don't trust GME because the suits own it, retail doesn't own it. And basically, Superstonk has convinced me that GME is a scam because Superstonk's trying to convince me that right now retail owns GME 5 times over what the float is and that they're just not showing us the real numbers. And I'm watching the open interest on AMC, right? And they're trying to claim that the open interest on GME is secretly sky high. But every time I buy an option, every time I sell an option, the open interest on all the brokerages across the table say the exact same fucking number. You can't do options on the dark market, whatever they call it, and you can't do options on the OTC. So you can only do options on the main platform through the actual New York Stock Exchange or whichever exchange you're using. And their numbers are 100% accurate. Everyone gets access to the same numbers. Dark pool is what it's called. And so basically, because Superstonk's trying to convince me that we're going to vote over 100% on GME when the vote happens and that there's probably going to be 500% votes and that's all a big scam and that they just keep reprinting billions and billions of shares and that they never close a position, I'm convinced that they're lying, and I'm convinced that they could only be lying for the wrong reasons. And so that tells me run from GME, and that tells me that GME was a government scam the whole time, or at some point it became a government scam to tear down the system and start the Great Reset, where they turn it into a one world currency. And then AMC blew up when GME blew up, and since that has happened, they have been trying to find a way to shake off AMC so that they could only have it be one thing that destroys everything, because it can't be two things that destroy everything. Because if it's two things, then they got to fight against us. It's not just a turn it to zero type thing. And because AMC is owned by retail by over 51%, actually over 65%, not counting the institutional investors inside the float, like of the actual broke ass 3 million motherfuckers invested in AMC, we own 65%. I'm 30 years old. And so, what else? If you look at the GME chart, I mean, they've had it locked between 150 and 200 for 3 months now. There's no volatility happening. There's no volume. Nobody followed DFE in when he doubled down. Like, GME's tapped out. When I look at Reddit, the GME people are a bunch of rich motherfuckers that look down on everyone that doesn't think exactly the same way they do. Reminds me a lot of a Democrat. And I just got all bad feelings about GME, and I feel like people that act that way deserve to get burned and will get burned. And so AMC's the broke, the desperate, the desperate, and every fucking song in this world that has any good rhythm to it, or good beat to it, or good lyrics to it, they all talk about the poor people coming together, and that ain't fucking GME. It's way more AMC than it is GME. And so I'm just done with the whole GME movement. I think GME is basically a scam at this point. I think GME could squeeze before AMC, but only if it's because they know AMC is going to squeeze, and they squeeze GME on purpose, hoping people sell out of AMC before AMC squeezes and paper hand the AMC situation. And I don't think it'll happen, but like I don't think AMC will get crushed. I think AMC will squeeze higher than GME if they squeeze GME first, but I could see them trying to squeeze GME first just to try to destroy AMC. But I'm not even going to focus. I'm not going to invest on GME. I'm done with GME. Anyone coming in my chat telling me why GME is great without discrediting what I've said, yeah, they're probably going to get banned from my chat. I don't trust GME at all. We'll get back to the reggae music someday. We'll get back. Let's see. Timber Therm Innovation says, not saying money still can't be made on GME, but people that have watched that stock day in and day out, you can tell it now is manipulated. It never ever held like 170 even and 180 even. Always fell below, for sure. Michael O'Daniel says, unfortunately, all I've got in green is my AMC. All my other stuff is in red. PLTR, SOS, NIO, CTRM, BNGO, etc. I've only got 10K in the market and down 3K down. Michael, it sounds like you are listening to Meet Kevin, honestly. It sounds like you got a similar portfolio to him. And if you would have started 6 months ago, you should be up a profit. But it sounds like you maybe got in at a bad time. And so what I would say to you is I would trust nothing but AMC if I were you. If you want to get that money back, I feel like AMC would get it all back this week. But I can't guarantee nothing, obviously. But then also, I would highly, highly recommend that you watch my 4 videos under the playlist on my channel called Sell Stocks, Buy Options. And spend some time watching those videos. Call into my channel, and I'll teach you any questions you can't quite put together yourself. But basically, by watching that video, you're going to learn how you can weaponize your money into very secure things that make a lot more than stocks would have ever made, and it will make you forget about your $3,000 loss. Like, the education I teach people is worth $100,000, $1 million, maybe even $1 billion by itself. If you go watch those 4 videos and you come back and ask me the questions that you haven't been able to put together, I promise you, like, you're going to look at the stock market a whole different way. It's a different thing than what you think it is right now. Retard Kip Dorby says, you are not God, you are not Jesus, you are not intelligent whatsoever. You are a delusional idiot that needs to be on medication. Treat people the way you would like to be treated. Fuck you, pussy. I'm going to fuck you up, and I'm going to burn your money, you little bitch. You obviously haven't read the Bible. The Bible says Jesus makes you pay and suffer for a day or two. Teaches you a fucking lesson, you fucking Democrat bitch. Anyone trying to come into the channel at this point and try to say I'm not intelligent is just a laughing stock. Like, you could say I'm crazy. You could say I need to be on medication. You could say I'm dangerous. You could say I'm violent. Like, you obviously don't know me as well as I know myself and other people know me. Like, if everyone thought that, I'd probably be in a hospital or jail right now, right? So you can say all this stuff because of what you're seeing on the video. But the one thing you can't say with a serious face is that I'm not intelligent. That's anyone that's saying that, you're just clearly have not watched 1 minute of my videos. Like, you've only watched a 30-second hate channel. Because if you would have watched the rest of the 30 seconds, you would have seen that even when I'm hating on people, it makes a lot of fucking sense. Timber Therm Innovation says, there is no investing in the stock market. It's one giant options paradise, and that's it. Straight up. Lotto only on steroids. I agree. I totally agree. Bobby Kivlin, I feel pretty bullish on your $25 calls on Friday, and they should make at least 100 to 200x if they hit, bro. You should be making bank on those if they hit. I'll say a little prayer for you. Probably true, E-Bomb. Probably true. Just because we got 7 billion people on this earth, and all of them combined have not done the work that I've done by myself. And that's kind of sad to think about. It's kind of sad to think about that the life insurance product has been getting sold in a horrible way for 20 years. And nobody exposed it until a 23-year-old stupid fucking kid got into the industry. I was the first one to expose it and say something about it. Now you can go on YouTube and find a bunch of people in the last couple years talking about it. But before then, I was the only one talking about freaking level death benefits versus increasing death benefits and how everyone's still in 3 times as many commissions and just completely screwing over people's retirement plans. And it was all in a way of recruiting new people, telling them they could make $100K a year. And the way they get started is by introducing you to 10 of their family members. And so as a professional, I get 50% of all the commissions by selling this person's 10 family members that are too nice to say no, even though I'm selling them a shit fucking product. and it's all giant Ponzi scheme. The whole life, 95% of life insurance is a giant Ponzi scheme, and there's 5% of agents out there that are actually doing it right and giving their clients a good policy. It's crazy to think about. Crayola, how about you go suck a dick, you faggot? I don't care if I can't sing. I can do everything else better than you, little bitch. You little biatch. Guys, they only come in to hate because they know I'm about to win. They can sense it too. They want me to quit. They want me to quit before I win because they know a win's about to come. And they're trying to get me to quit. And they're like, why won't this motherfucker quit? If we all tell him he sucks, why is he not listening? Who's he talking to? Is he talking to God or something? How does God talking to this guy? How does he know he's better than everyone? Later, Bobby. Thanks for coming by. I think these are all rich people or broke people that are invested in GME that just hate me. So it's either rich people that are really afraid of me, or it's broke people that are invested in GME and they're desperate and they're scared that I can destroy their money. And it's like the fact that they're coming in to hate me proves that they actually think I might be able to hurt their money. Honestly, they wouldn't even give me the second of the day if they didn't think I could hurt their money. But nope, I told them they've awoken the beast and created the worst nightmare. They've created their own worst nightmare against themselves. And they thought I was joking, but the more they listen to me talk, the angrier and angrier they get because they know I got facts to disprove and discredit and dismantle the whole GME movement. It's wild, people. What a crazy world we live in. What's crazy is just how stupid humans really are. Like, they're so smart at getting good at one thing, right? Like the hedge fund nerd, the little quant guy sitting in the background working for the Fed that's pushing all the money around with the computers. I'm sure that guy got me on a couple of things, and that guy just super fucking good at a bunch of things. He's probably even got a quicker brain than mine right now. Like him able to move a mouse, click on the right things, all of it. Like, I'm sure he just toast me. But guess what? I got fucking 10 hours of practice doing what he's doing. Like, I ain't never fucking done it. And you let me get expert mode at something, like I have options or life insurance or anything else I've gotten real good at. And all of a sudden, everyone that was good starts looking real shitty. Everyone that was known as the best starts looking real retarded. And it's because they only knew what they were good at, which seemed real good when nobody knew everything. But then when somebody put the whole picture together in that industry and then came and talked to the person that knew a lot about one thing in the industry, all of a sudden you realize how little that one person knew about everything, and how if you don't know everything, your fucking logic and your arguments and your sales pitches and everything else fucking sucks. Oh, it's crazy. It's crazy how I'm the first one to see it this way. Like, obviously, there's a lot of people that have been seeing a lot of things like I have. Like, the same type of stuff that Tony Robbins is talking about, that energy, that confidence. That's the stuff that I found. That's the stuff that, like, you chase life for. It's the stuff that you're looking for, I promise. It's the stuff that makes you happy and content and satisfied no matter where your life is at. Alright, people. I'm going to spend the rest of the night with my girl. Let's do this again tomorrow. Hopefully AMC just has the best day. But we are right now, the prediction is that AMC could go slightly red or sideways tomorrow. But that Wednesday, and if it does, then Wednesday's a big day. But if tomorrow's a big day, then I expect Wednesday to be even bigger. And I expect Wednesday to be the dagger in the machine's heart where Tesla goes to zero. And I'm saying that because it is a blood moon, a blood full moon on Wednesday. And there would be nothing better to see that, like, either the futures crash like 50% on Wednesday night and they don't halt it, or fucking Wednesday day it crashes and we just remember the blood moon night as the blood market day. Like, I don't fucking care how it plays out. That's my next prediction until it doesn't come true. And then we'll find another prediction. So if anyone wants to know when I think AMC's going to moon, it's Blood Moon Wednesday. And that was thanks to Count Crypto. Count Crypto gets the credit on that one. I'll see you guys later.